Hello, everyone. So
Hello.
it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I'm Fernanda Simon. I'm Fashion Revolution Brazil Executive Director, and I'm also Sustainability Editor at Vogue Brazil. So today I'm here with Sebastian Cope, one of the founders of Veja, a more sustainable sneakers made in Brazil with natural Amazon rubber. So as a Brazilian, I dare to say that this is probably the coolest sneakers ever. So it's a beautiful product with beautiful stories behind them. So welcome, Sebastian. I would like to ask you to tell, first of all, how and why Veja was created.
Hello, Fernanda. Nice to speak to you through the Atlantic Ocean because I'm in Paris and you're in São Paulo. Paris is very hot, and you just told me that São Paulo was very cold. So for once, we have the hottest time weather. So Veja, it's a long story. Our goal was to when we created Veja in 2004. The goal was to create a different breed of sneakers, meaning we deconstruct how a sneaker was made to rebuild it in another way. And yes, we knew Brazil at that time already. We didn't speak Portuguese that well, but we knew it was a country, an incredible country where there was the raw materials that we could need, the ecological raw materials that we could put inside a sneaker, which was we wanted to do a canvas sneaker made out of cotton. So we said to ourselves, why not try to find organic cotton on field? And at that time, we were 24 years old, so quite innocent. We didn't know anything about the fashion industry. We didn't know anything about the factories. We didn't know anything about the cotton fields, etc. So very innocently, we said, if we want organic cotton, let's go to the field. Let's discover how it's made, how it's grown, how it's working on field. And so we traveled during 8 months to go and meet like what we say is a very small cooperatives of farmers that have 1 acre, 2 acres, 3 acres of land. And we met them. We spent time with them on fields to discover how they were doing these organic cotton crops. And so at the same time, we learned Portuguese with them because that's right, we didn't get everything that they were saying. But it was really interesting to pass this time with them and to discover how an organic cotton was grown. So we proposed them after maybe 2 months, 3 months. We proposed them to buy this cotton, this organic cotton, which is without pesticides, without chemical entrance, without I would say industrial methods for agriculture. We sat with them and we proposed them to buy this cotton at a fair price, which was disconnected from the market price. And we wanted for them to live with this cotton, to not to survive with this cotton, but to live, to be able to buy food, to buy oil for their cars, etc., etc. Because they were living in a very poor situation at the time. And so we in 2004 we bought 2.5 tons of organic cotton of the last year crops to this cooperative. It's located in close from Fortaleza in the state of Ceará. And then we found a factory in Brazil to make the thread out of this organic cotton, another factory to do the canvas out of the threads, and then we found a sneaker factory in southern Brazil, in the region of Rio Grande do Sul, which is one of the most developed region of Brazil, with the state of São Paulo. And we found a super nice factory where the workers were very well treated. The time of working is 42 hours per week. They have, of course, the weekend. They have not a very high wage, but a decent wage where they can live, they can buy a house, they can rent a house, etc. So it was very important that we create, I would say, a more ecological sneaker, but also a more balanced sneaker in terms of social impacts. Meaning that 99% of the sneakers of the planet are made in Asia, made in China, made in Vietnam, in Indonesia, in very poor working conditions. So that was important for us to create something very different. So we started with organic cotton, but then just after we went in Amazonia to find a raw material for the sole of the sneakers. So this was the sole of the sneakers. Usually for the brands that we all know, the big brands, it's made out of plastic, or what they say is synthetic rubber, but synthetic rubber is plastic. So we decided to replace this plastic with a natural ingredient, which could be like in the old times, the sneakers, like the first sneakers in the 20th century, in 1950, 1960, it was made with rubber, but with real rubber. So we decided, why not use real rubber to put inside the soles? So we went in the forest and we discovered, it was a slap in the face because we discovered really another world with the problem of deforestation, with social problems inside the forest, with all the really another world. And we applied the same methods, like sitting with the guys, sharing their lives, knowing how they were cultivating rubber. It's not cultivating, it's taking it out of the trees, because the latex is let's say, the blood of the hevea trees, but it's not damaging the trees and not damaging the forest. So for us, it was give an economic value to the forests, give an economic value to the forest is important. Why? Because if this economic value is higher than when you cut the trees down, sell the wood, and put cattle, then there is a way to stop deforestation. But this, at the beginning, to be very truthful with you, we were not talking about deforestation. We just wanted raw materials that could be more ecological, and then we jumped into some other crazy issues. So that was the beginning of Veja. We started with, I would say, 7,000 euros. It was not even a startup, not even a company. It was more a friend adventure. And then we proposed the sneaker to the markets. We chose to work with an NGO to do the warehouse in France, an NGO that's make a work of inclusion, people with problems in life, alcohol, jail, many problems, and unemployment. This NGO gives back a job, gives back a social life to the people working in this warehouse. And that's the warehouse we chose, and they did really amazing work for 15 years. And so you understand what Veja is. We don't do anything. We just link incredible projects one to another. We find the incredible project, which is, for example, the organic cotton farmers. They have incredible projects supported by an NGO, and we work with them. We find the seringueiros in the forest, the communities in the forest that cultivate rubber. We sit with them and we buy the rubber on fair trade principles. So every time we link crazy projects to one another to do a supply chain that is completely different. We started like this, and we keep on doing this, hunting ecological raw materials to put inside a shoe. That's the engine of Veja is this movement, and then Veja became a brand. Now we sell all over the world in the best stores, concept stores, department stores, etc. We sell shoes that are expensive, but not so much. It's not luxury. It's comparable to a pair of Nike. And today the company is 250 people, 250 talents, very young, very cool. So we tried to create the company that we wanted to work in when we were younger, and that's what we try to do every day.
It is amazing the whole work Veja is doing in Brazil, in the whole world, and with all this sustainable supply chain. I really love the Amazon project because, as you said, some people in Brazil they believe that we must cut the trees and sell the forest to make a profit. So when we produce items from natural rubber, we are contributing to keep the forest alive and giving jobs to these people. So this is so important, and it's so difficult for Brazilian in general to understand that. So it's a important work. And well, Sebastian, what is the biggest challenge you have ever faced related to this supply chain in Brazil?
Oh, if I answer COVID, it's easy. It's an easy answer. But no, facing challenges, it's every day. We have really tough challenges because this supply chain doesn't exist. So we created it, and it was not something working that we used, but we created step by step all the way the supply chain. So problems we have every day, but then it becomes an addiction to solve problems, to convince people. Like at the beginning, when we went to the factory in Brazil, the shoe factory in Brazil, it was complicated to convince them to. We say, buy this cotton, buy this canvas. Okay, it's 4 times, 5 times more expensive than the canvas you use usually, but we want this canvas. We did all the chain, and then you have to buy this canvas. Same for the rubber. And they said, but you're French, you're crazy. It's much more expensive. Nobody cares. It was in 2004, 2005. Nobody cares about ecology. Nobody cares about what you're doing in the field. So why? Take this one. Take this other canvas. It's much more cheaper, etc. And then we get accustomed that nobody listens, that nobody cares. And the first 5 years of Veja, we were trying to convince everybody to say yes, we do this, we do that, it's better, no. And we realized that a few people cared, not a lot of people cared, and it was something a bit frustrating. That you do something and nobody listens, nobody sees it. But then we get accustomed to that, and we said we have to design the best sneakers. We have to really care about design. We have to design the best sneakers, so that today there's a lot of people that doesn't know what Veja is behind, what kind of supply chain we have, but that buy Veja without knowing. And I think that's the best proof than you can create a sustainable supply chain, or more ecological supply chain, or more socially balanced supply chain, and people don't know at the end of the day, and it's okay. And then we have a lot of emails every day saying, yes, I've been wearing Veja for 5 years, and I listened to a conference with Fernanda Simon today, and I discovered what is behind, and it's cool, and I'm proud. I was wearing them without knowing. So this, I think, is cool. But challenges, yes, we have a lot, and it's okay.
This should be the normal, right? All the sneakers have a good story behind. So, yeah. So, and Sebastian, I think what I know, I don't know, I want to ask you, is that you have a different strategy from other brands. Like, you don't do advertising. So I would like to ask you to talk a bit about that.
Yes, the no advertising strategy. Like the sneakers company, they do a lot of advertising, and for us, it was maybe something that is not correct in the society we live in. Like to try to reduce the costs of the reality of the raw materials of the production and to do the more advertising you can. In 2004, we did the opposite. We said, let's put what the others spend in advertising, let's put it on the supply chain, which is today maybe one Veja, it costs 5 times what the same sneaker would cost in Asia, in China, in Vietnam, etc. But we sell it at the same price at like Nike, like Adidas, etc. But we don't do any advertising, no advertising at all, nothing. No soccer player, no famous models, no nothing. And so that we put the resources of advertising in the supply chain of Veja. That's the switch we made, the bet we made, because everybody said, yeah, with no advertising, nobody will know, nobody will know your brand, nobody will care, etc. So it's the no advertising thing. It's a relationship with time, because we have the time. We are building a brand. We are building more than a brand. We are building a project, and I think that nice projects, it takes time. You need to put a lot of time inside a project that will grow. It's like a tree. We prefer to have very deep roots than a tree that grows very fast but that is very weak. We created this project like a life project. It's not about money. It's not about creating a company, etc. It's what do we do with our lives, and that's what is important for Francois, who is my best friend, and he's now in Brazil. He comes back tomorrow or in 2 days, and me. And so that's yes, the no advertising thing. It's more time, but more love that you have to put in the project.
Beautiful, beautiful tree, Veja is. And well, we are just in the final minute. I would like to ask you to leave a message for those who are watching us.
I think I just said. I think everybody is talking about growth. Everybody is talking about money, and I'm sure that the exit of the COVID crisis can be even worse than before. I think and I apply it to myself first. I think we need to spend more time on things, to give more love in projects, in people, etc. Because that's the first step to create a world that would work better tomorrow for everybody, not only for an elite or not only for a few people. But I think that everybody realized that we were all equal in terms of health during this COVID crisis, that you can be rich and you can die with COVID. So I think it was a good lesson. The year we spent, it was a very good lesson for the time to come. And so more time, more love, to apply to people around you.
Thank you so much. And Veja is a proof that fashion can be part of this transformation. And thank you, everyone. So now back to Jordana.
Bye-bye. Thank you.